Good morning, everyone, and happy International Women's Day. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we are meeting today, the Wadjuk Noongar people. As a Noongar with family ties in South Australia, I'm so privileged to be standing here today to learn and share with you. For a little bit of context about me, my name is Alana Dooley. I'm 18 years old and I attended Warwick Senior High School, somewhere I'm so grateful to have spent 6 years of my life. The learning, experiences, and opportunities that came from my time at Warwick, such as being nominated for and receiving a nationwide Indigenous STEM award, attending various sports events, visiting Townsville, Canberra and Sydney on various science trips and camps, including the prestigious Harry Messel International Science School, and being school captain are memories I will keep with me forever. Last week, I began university, studying a double degree in science and arts, and I have a job at my university as a Curtin Ahead mentor, which is a program standing for Addressing Higher Educational Access Disadvantage. Having attended a low socioeconomic school myself, and actually being a part of this program throughout high school, to now mentor for them is so incredibly rewarding. Growing up, I played every sport under the sun, from netball to AFL to cricket, tennis, surfing, and pretty much anything you can imagine. I also work at my local supermarket, and I am a woman. This year's theme of International Women's Day is Choose to Challenge. But what exactly does that mean? This is something I've thought a lot about, and something that I suppose each individual may interpret differently due to their own experiences. To me, Choose to Challenge is a conscious decision that we can all make to address, correct, and overcome the damaging gender roles, gender gaps in various fields of work, and unconscious bias we hold that impose negative impacts on women. Not to mention the many other harmful ramifications of the deep-seated gender inequalities within our society, such as the gender pay gap. We can choose to challenge these barriers of inequality. We have the power to make change through a collective effort. And just by being here today, all of us are making change and contributing to a more equal world. Today, the way we challenge these things can be a big gesture, such as attending a rally promoting women's rights, or something small, like questioning a sexist joke, which can be done with just a few words. Is that really appropriate? Or, why do you find this joke funny? At the end of the day, the struggles of women are not a laughing matter. I earlier mentioned the unconscious bias that we all hold, which can be so harmful to all members of our community, men, women, and all others included. This unconscious bias is something that I, a self-proclaimed and proud feminist, struggle with daily, but it is something that I'm actively choosing to challenge and overcome. For example, whilst writing this speech, I was nervous to even talk about myself or to mention any achievements. I was afraid that I'd appear to be big-noting. I was afraid to publicly acknowledge the things in my life that I am proud of. This reminded me of when I was on work experience in Year 11 at a local science organisation with 3 other students, all boys. I found out that the majority of students who were accepted for work experience at this establishment were boys, not because they were in any way more qualified, but because they were comfortable in expressing their success, whilst the girls were often wary to speak up. As women, we have been encouraged to be high achievers and to be humble, but somewhere along the way, the humble part has somehow shifted in meaning to the stage where the very idea of expressing our achievements can feel uncomfortable, foreign even. But I'll tell you what, it is possible to be both humble and proud, and it is okay to speak openly about what you're proud of. I can feel my unconscious bias further sneaking up on me when the phrase, "I'm sorry," continually escapes itself from my mouth. This is something I did a lot, especially in school, and still do today. I'd raise my hand and ask a question, and the first word would be sorry. Sorry, could you explain that concept again? Or, sorry, what was the answer to number 12 on the test? Really, there was no reason to say sorry. But in a lot of ways, sorry feels so natural to say for myself and many other women. This is the result of the environment that we have grown up in. Family, friends, the media, everything has all contributed to this. But this year, in my first year of university, entering a Bachelor of Science, majoring in physics, a male-dominated industry. This is something I will actively try to overcome. I will not apologise for being comfortable and confident in myself and my abilities. I will choose to challenge. As a high school student with aspirations to study physics, I had always been told I wouldn't be surrounded by many other women for the duration of my degree and my professional career that follows. In fact, a University of Melbourne study found that if the rates of women in physics continue to grow at the same rate, it will be more than 250 years until there is equal representation of senior male and female researchers in the field. I was lucky, however, in that when being told this information regarding the representation of women, it was always followed by encouragement and support. This encouragement was so important for me and played a pivotal role in me pursuing this degree. So please, everyone, be the guiding presence in the lives of the women around you in showing them support. The odds are stacked against women in so many professions, from science to sport to trades. So in many ways, offering small words of encouragement is in itself choosing to challenge, fitting right in with this year's International Women's Day theme. It is also important to acknowledge that I, and many of us in the room today, have been lucky enough to have access to and continue to have access to an education, a right that many women throughout the world are denied. Education really is the key to change. Although I had been told of the aforementioned gender gap in science, it still shocked me in my very first university class to look around and see that about 80% of the students were male. Yes, this made me nervous. And yes, I know that as a woman, I am bound to encounter challenges along the way that my male peers won't. Having said this though, I'm excited. I know that when these hurdles arise, that as a minority in my field, I can use them as opportunities to educate and to continue my own learning journey. That is one way that I will choose to challenge. I hope that by being a woman in this space, I can inspire other young women to pursue their aspirations, regardless of the gender balance in their chosen fields. To be strong, brave, bold, and boss at anything they choose. This is knowledge that is so important to be instilled in girls from a young age. So I encourage you to share this with the women and young women in your lives. It is so important that girls grow into women with the belief in themselves that they are capable. And this self-belief is a choice to challenge. It is the knowledge of our own strengths that will help bring us to equality. I hope that what I've said today has resonated with you. I could talk for hours about the endless ways we could choose to challenge, and really have only just skimmed the surface today. On a parting note, I'd like to encourage you to make this choice, to be the change. So if you agree with me, I'd like to ask you to raise your hand like this, with your palm outwards, to show your commitment and solidarity to the cause. If we all work together, we can do great things. Thank you.